I am live. Hi, everybody. David's got a weak signal in his internet, so he is going to be popping back in, and then we'll start talking. I want to talk to him about Halloween and does he did he ever celebrate it and all of that? I kind of want to know. So actually, he's here. We're going to bring him in now. There you are. We're live.
Hello, welcome everyone.
Can you hear me okay?
It's coming through more clearly right now, so
Good.
let's
It's
hold
like
fast.
always reboot or always do something. Yesterday, my laptop didn't work, and we're at the very end of book 3 in the Past Lives of Deborah O'Hara book series. And I listened to it, and that's how I catch anything we have to fix. And it wasn't working, and I was very frustrated, and I forgot the first thing that you do is just go out and come back in, and it worked fine. So I'll learn that eventually. So
yeah, and when you were saying that, I was thinking, compare the world we're inhabiting now versus 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. I don't know, whatever your lifespan is. I know your birthday's coming up, Debbie, but
I was surprised. It's Saturday. I'm like, what the heck? How'd that happen?
Yeah, we won't give away your age.
Oh, no. Everybody knows I'm going to be 68.
All right, we'll give away your age.
Close to 70.
So you would remember, say, 60 years ago and think what you're doing now and all this technology and all the things we're doing. It's fascinating.
It is. I was just reading. Gabrielle says, hi, it's Gabby. Want to know if I'll get any TV jobs or offers this September. We'll do reading a little bit later, okay? And let me write you down as if you can hang in. If you can hang in to the end. If not, just go back. We'll do the reading and then just go back and see it when you can. So I'm going to write you down. But hello. Yeah, technology is so different, and I think it went really fast. Like all the things I ever wanted to happen in my lifetimes, just came really fast. And it's so funny that they can like make a phone that does like everything and then make it better in a couple years and then make it better. And I'm like, it's crazy. It's really amazing.
Because I remember disbelieving, or not, when I was a kid, not really thinking, it was science. It was in the realm of science fiction. The video chatting, the talking to people via video, that was science fiction. And I remember it wasn't certain science fiction movies that appeared, but it seemed to unbelievable. And then suddenly it happened quickly in our lifetimes that this became normal, and people didn't even think it was unusual or exciting.
Well, it was hard to keep up too. Things change really fast there, and I hope it continues, but for the better.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, to move in a positive direction and stay mindful of that. And it is quite a time we're living in. And I was thinking last week, sometimes, I'm emotional, you're emotional, we're all emotional, and we get caught up in this emotional soup. And what's interesting with some of my background in Buddhism is the Buddhist approach is to step out of the world, step out of the soup, and get into a pure, higher spiritual state of purity and stillness, to become like that beautiful pond which is just completely serene, or the beautiful lake, call it a serene lake. But we live in a world that doesn't allow us to do that so easily. We get so caught up, and just talking about politicians or talking about politics, I think is I just feel it's a bit of a dark energy. It pulls us into this energetic entanglement, and that's sort of, we get stuck into it and caught up in all these emotions, this web of entanglement, and it can be quite negative and pull us down, and quite a manipulation, because I feel like it's so easy to be manipulated by the world around us. And what Buddhism or meditation or spiritual practices bring us back to the truth, or bring us back to objectivity, or clear conscious awareness, which is really freedom. And I think we were talking about something about Putin, and I think it created a bit of a trigger. I felt there's a bit of a trigger just mentioning the name Putin, this tyrant or dictator or whatever he is. I don't know too much about Vladimir Putin, but he's definitely a dictator, and dictators don't have a good track record in our history, and they tend to be very, very narcissistic. So, I mean, he probably just wants to make his mark on the world. Make some kind of historic statement and be remembered in history. That's probably his motivation in whatever he's doing. But I think interesting to talk about energetic entanglement and how we get so caught up in the world. And part of that is okay, and part of it's healthy, because we want to be, in relationships. A relationship is an example of an energetic entanglement. But we want to experience some of these entanglements. But I think just the knowledge that it is an entanglement, and the ability to observe it from a distance and be separate from it, really helps us become sovereign and become free. So we can choose to be in it, but also choose to step out of it. And I think when we rise above, and we're in the Buddhist, the serene lake, and we're in this, I have this picture, I'm sure you've seen these pictures of meditating on the lake, and it's just completely perfect and still and pure. In some of the Vedic traditions in India, they had a concept called non-dualism or non-duality, and that's rising above all the duality of the world. And I mean, the prime example is, for instance, male, female, or yin or yang, yin yang, and what we come to is a place of neutrality. So neutrality is the non-duality. So I think it's helpful to practice that and to swim with that in our consciousness, or at least invite it into our consciousness, to be able to neutrally observe and bring in, maybe sometimes neutralize our reactivity, or what we triggered by, because we're still going to be triggered. I think you can sit in a temple your whole life and still something is going to trigger you. It's very hard to reach this concept of enlightenment,
David,
practically speaking.
I kind of feel like that most people have never experienced that type of tranquility or calmness or anything. Don't even know what it is, never heard about it or whatever. I mean, I don't know what your take is, but I feel like that they haven't been exposed to it, and they just run through life.
Yeah, well, I don't want to comment about all people, because I think everyone's different. But definitely,
well, I want to say the majority. I think the majority of the people on Earth.
Maybe, I haven't really thought of it like that. It's interesting you say that. Perhaps it's also an important factor is where you live, the environment you live in, and certain environments have a much different energy. And I think people say when they come to the United States, there's this kind of magnified intensity where they feel they're on fire. There's things are a lot more intense and a lot more serious. And however, you go to places in Asia that are very, very quiet and slow moving, and the energy is quite
true.
So different places in the world will have a different energy, and that's kind of a different conversation in a way, the way we can get activated energetically by different spots in the world, and by sitting in a pyramid and those kind of dimensional angles or dimensional aspects. And I'm sure some people have an experience of going somewhere and feeling something. Maybe it was just going into a forest and feeling a heightened sense of awareness and spirituality. And I'm sure most people have some experience of that.
Oh, here it's like everybody wants to go to Sedona, Arizona in the U.S. It's like there's vortexes, and I so want to go see if there's vortexes.
I want to go there too. I've heard so much about it. Wow.
I know. Yeah. I have too, and I'm like, okay, I want to like go in. You know what? They've got a B&B there where you go in and they're expecting you. They know what you want to eat, your special, vegetarian diet or whatever, and you get massages and stuff. And I go, that's kind of I would take that too. I think that would be really great. I would love to go on the tours to see, because I can do the energy. Like one of the things I do in psychic development class is I buy lottery tickets. They have scratchers. Do you have them in Australia? The lottery? Yeah. Okay, so we get a scratcher. I can actually put my hand and feel the energy. I just ask to feel the energy if it's a winner. And so when I'm doing class, it's like somewhat, if people remember the Amazing Kreskin, I mimic that, and I show them that, they get the tickets, they scratch it. I say what number's on it, and then I take an envelope, open it up, and I got the same number because I could feel that energy. So I would like to go in and, experience to see what they're talking about. I've had a lot of things happen. I had an entity go through me. So I know how that being around that type of energy feels. So I like to go to Sedona and see what's there.
I think it's fascinating energetically and how we are portals, and we are energetic oscillators, and they're parts of our bodies that are crystalline. So there's an ability to connect and exchange information almost like a computer does it, storing in crystals. And our pineal gland is like this what do you call it? Maybe just a portal, this opening to higher consciousness. And I guess we're also like beacons. So because of the magnetic field around us, we attract certain energies, and that's where the manifestation can be really powerful. And I know you're an expert on manifestation, because we are these beacons. And so as magnetic beacons, we have to be careful what we put out there, because it can come to us, and some of the things we don't want if they're in our consciousness. So that's really important, to put out the things that we do want to attract to our field.
I'm just kind of reading the comments. You guys, I am doing a list for readings later on. So just put it in the comments. You know what I do is a little different, where people use the law of attraction, or we're bringing in stuff, but there's so many different ways of, attraction and all of that. But how I keep the good stuff coming in is I'm Wiccan trained. So I deflect and put wards in for the negative stuff, that stays away, and what I want comes in. So there's all kinds of different ways I feel like we can manipulate, and hold on just a second. Okay. That we can manipulate the energy, and we can use different ways of working with the people on the other side, or our higher power, and all of that. So I think that there's more than one way to do things. But a lot of people will tell me that they have people come up to them and feel like they know them, or feel like one person told me they feel like they're attracted to that person, and all these droves of people come up feeling like they want to be next to this person all the time. It's very, very strange. So I really do feel like energy works, and people need to harness it. They need to use that, and it also can be used for healing and all these great things. So I really feel like that's something that, I really wish societies would really teach that kind of thing, the metaphysical stuff. I think it would be great.
Yeah, I think it is entering into the consciousness, the collective consciousness. I just feel there's so much confusion, so many ideas, and you said something important, which is there's different ways you can do it, and I think people do get caught up in the one idea or the one concept, and we're multidimensional. There's consciousness is infinite. We can go in so many different directions, and with our perspective, we can see anything, anywhere we like. You can see whatever it is, and you can they've even done studies, and people have been able to see colors by being told that the color's there. They see it with their imagination and think it's real. So we really see based on who we are and the prism through which we see the world, the spectacles we wear, the lens through which we see the world. But there's so many different approaches, and there's so many teachers, and it's not that one teacher is better than the other or one teacher knows everything. It's just who you resonate with, and it changes. So sometimes you find a book that changes your life when you're 12 years old, but then when you're 20 years old, you're onto a different book. You're exploring different levels of consciousness, different ideas, and we don't need to keep comparing each other, because it's just pointless, because everyone is unique, and this idea of comparison, I think it comes from school, it comes from education, where we constantly in a line and being compared to each other and being ranked and being categorized and labeled, and it just doesn't help. And I feel like there's a lot of energy entangled in certain concepts and certain political structures. It's just messy, it's chaotic, it's just like a soup that just kind of it's swallowing people up in directions that are not positive. But
David, do you feel like it's going to take us a long time to get to where we are? Just have some peace, or we have so many people into meditation or metaphysical practices. You think that's a long way off?
I think it could go in many different ways, because sometimes from the chaos is birthed something beautiful. Even in childbirth, sometimes it takes such a long time. It seems like it's never going to come out. And sometimes there's a lot of pain in that childbirth, and it's very messy. And even just all the blood and all, it's quite messy, and yet it births life. So the idea that it's going to, peace is the way to peace. Sometimes it's chaos, and then from the chaos we birth something new. So I am positive that we can birth something new from all this chaos, but we need to bring out all the corruption, all the stuff that's been going on amongst our politicians and leaders. And I think the more that comes out, the more we can cleanse. So it's a real cleansing that's going on collectively. But we need to bring this stuff up, and don't judge someone because they're from the other side or the other political party. There is no other sides. Stop seeing the other side is your enemy, or there's no such thing. We're all human beings, and all we want is the truth to be exposed, because that can really move us forward. And it's important to be humble and realize, start with yourself. Start with looking in the mirror and crack yourself open. What is there to be healed? What is there to come out? What is there to be released? What is there to shift to what things are no longer serving you? What ideas are old ideas, old beliefs. We've got so many of them. We're talking about you were at school 60 years ago, and all those beliefs that were programmed into you were sometimes brainwashed into you. A lot of them aren't true. A lot of them are not helpful. They're not reality. So I think when I look at the leaders that around, I don't feel a good energy. I don't think of any leaders, to be honest, where I look at some leader and I go, oh, I really feel a good energy with this person. I feel they're honest, they're authentic, they have integrity. Generally, you've got the most lying, corrupt bunch of leaders like I've ever seen. And
you're always picking on the U.S.
and that's really, once we'll know that things are changing, is when we have someone who's really honest, someone who's really cares for people, wants to help people, and speaks honestly. Just says, I don't know. Well, just I don't know. I'll look that up. I'll get back to you. So I do think we just have to look to our leaders and see where we are in the world, but I think we can do better, and that time is coming, and it's almost like, do we choose to take a new direction, or are we forced into taking a new direction? So I think that's where we're at the moment, almost like it's a decision point. Are we just going to have to react, or are we going to respond? Are we going to be able to manifest something that we would truly desire? So yeah, what do you think? What do you think, Debbie?
Well, I haven't done a reading on it, and I'm overdue for doing predictions for sure. But I do really feel that I feel like we're a ways off, very, very far. And I've done predictions. I was involved in projects that are university students did, and things like that, from decades from now. And there was, a lot of the same issues. And so I go, oh my goodness, how do we kind of intervene and start a movement? Because the neatest things, are when we have a movement to, peace and love and all of that. And but now when I see these dictators and these leaders of nations that are not the best leaders, that really worries me. That can we truly have peace without something getting screwed up, and it continuing? And so right now we've had just the toughest years. And I'm really concerned about mental health after the virus. How are we going to be treating all these people that are going to need healing and PTSD and things like that? And so I feel like it's going to be ways off until we have some kind of normalcy. And that I think, David, you're right on. The big part of that will be choosing leaders that are really good and very honest and good leaders. We need to have people that can, make the right decisions for, people. So yeah, I don't see it happening for a while.
And I think just to bring the Queen's passing, I think that's also been a big worldwide energetic event of the last week, for sure, that people are still processing that shift. And it's like the end of an epoch. And I think that's also a potential shift that's happening, people, because the royal family is it's been such a beacon of elitism in my opinion, and it has done some good. I don't have a opinion that's I'm not overly opinionated about the royal family. I don't live in England, so that's also it's also part of it. But I don't know if you're aware, Debbie, that on all our money in Australia, there is a picture of the Queen.
Yes. She has a lot of territories.
So all the money, and you think, well, as a society, we exchanging money, we probably use cash more than you do in America, but it's such a part of the society, and that's been going on for decades, and now it's a new time, and so the
You're going to
world
have
is
new money. You're going to have new money.
we're gonna have new money. It's fascinating. So there is human nature to contend with. Just coming back to what you were saying, human nature. I do believe the ego has its tendencies, and we have to be realistic with what is human nature. What is our potential is vast, and I do believe we just have to be aware of the pitfalls and where things can go wrong, and yeah, I'm just seeing a comment there, and I'm like trying not to respond to that one.
Don't.
So the cynicism and divisiveness, it's really present in the world, and I think we do. I think that there's room for a lot more optimism and a lot more positive energy. So that must come from. We can't keep getting caught up in ideologies, which I see all the time, and alarmism, where people keeps calling. I keep hearing in Australia. I don't think it's such a big issue in America, but people keep saying things like climate catastrophe, and which is a very fear-based idea, and it creates a reaction. It creates a response. When you use catastrophe, everyone's alarmed, and
Right.
that can be helpful at times, and sometimes we need that energy. But with things that are very, very complex, it doesn't usually serve us to be so primal, because that fear it's a primal energy, and it affects our mental health. What we need to do is be really realistic and look at what the needs are, what we can build together. And there's so much, these ideologies are so pervasive that people are just not thinking straight. It's just like, I don't know if you saw Michael Moore's documentary about Planet of the Humans. Did you see that?
Yeah, I'm just no, I did not. I was looking at the comments.
So Planet of the Humans, it really brought to our attention how the powers that be, the elite powers, the superpowers, the big corporations are manipulating things, from the top, and one of their big ideas of clean energy was just burning trees, and all these people were at these climate change conferences with placards and waving flags, and they didn't even know that biofuel was burning trees, and that was their great solution. Oh yeah, we have clean energy, we burn trees, and it's that kind of ignorance that is not very helpful. We need things to be exposed, and people's true motivations, because unfortunately, if people's motivation is only profit, then the altruism is lost, and that's been a big problem in the world. It's the worst part of human nature, greed, and that greed comes from a worldview or a fear of there's not enough. So if you look at the oceans, there's this rapacious greed in the. Do you know much about the ocean? The shipping companies, they have these giant. What do you call them? These
Tankers?
giant. I don't know. They go into the ocean and they just pick up everything.
Oh, that's cool.
It's not cool because
Wait, are you talking about something that cleans the ocean?
No, I'm talking about the fishing industry, because
the big nets and stuff.
Yeah, so they swallow up. It's like just swallowing up everything. So all the turtles and all the animals living in the ocean just get swallowed up. They may be chasing tuna fish or whatever it is, but they swallow up everything, and that's just it's very, very sad. Unfortunately, that's big business and the reality of some of the food industry and a lot of these things that people just don't know about, but mostly don't want to know about. We just don't. We just, you go to a restaurant and get the food on your plate, but you don't really know. You don't really want to know where it came from. But so knowledge is important. Sovereignty is important. We need to not. We need to have role models that have integrity and just responding to that person below. If that's your role model, then yeah, no comment. But we need to have role models that have integrity, that truly care, and not just speak. It's easy to say words, but judge people by their. I really need to look at people's actions. And
I think there's some, leaders of countries that are absolutely, great and wonderful. But when we talk about all the seedy side of things, there is corruption, and there is and I really do feel like one of the roots down there that comes up is, greed. And there's all this other stuff, that people want and everything, and they'll do anything to get it. So many things that I can't believe, like, people dealing with the drugs. That's purely to gain money, because you're killing people. You're literally killing people. But, I can't, there's so many different things, and you're naming off so many of them that I go, my goodness, how do we fix this? I'm almost saying, like, should the leaders be scientists? Should the leaders be, metaphysical, spiritual people? Or, I think I agree basically with you that they shouldn't be politicians. I think we should get rid of that.
It's just the influence, the power, the money, the worst of human nature, all these aspects. Because, to be fair to I don't want to criticize or critique all leaders and say all leaders are bad. They have a lot of challenges, and they're in a challenging situation, and sometimes they sort of at the behest of the beast. Do you know what I mean? They only have so much power, and they're navigating through shark infested waters. But human nature is, we have incredible abilities for good, and for the highest abilities of human beings are very inspiring. There's just so many inspiring people throughout history. Mm-hmm. But limiting beliefs, I think, is really the root cause of a lot of the behavior you see, like greed. Because why are people wanting to take everything and destroy all of nature? Just take every fish in the ocean, which is happening. Over 90% of the ocean has been removed by human beings. Over 90%. And it's just like, why do we need to take everything?
Well, we do. I mean, we always hear that there are a lot of laws on that and everything. But then you have those people that, shouldn't be going after a whale or whatever. But we don't hear it. Maybe the news isn't broadcasted enough, because we all love, we have a love of the dolphins and the sea turtles and all of that stuff. And
there are amazing organizations. Sorry to interrupt, Debbie. Like sure. Sea Shepherd, and I went to an event in Australia. I live along the Great Barrier Reef, so there is a little bit more awareness about the issues about the ocean. And mm-hmm. Sea Shepherd. Have you heard of Sea Shepherd?
No.
They're an organization that they're incredibly brave. They're on the battlefield. They have a few ships that will go and stop, Japanese whaling. They put their lives at risk to try and protect the
Yeah, they
laws
get
and
in between. They get in between them. When I was young, as you pointed out, 60 years ago, I was in school. The biggest thing I wanted was, a popsicle. It wasn't, learning this other stuff. But we had Greenpeace. And so when I came into becoming, late teenage, thing, the issues in the environment came in. And the first thing I did was a walk for humanity. And I walked 30 miles in one day to raise money for them. And then we were very conscious of the national forests and making sure that we weren't doing litter. But the weird thing about it, after this movement, it ceased. And then you'd see litter and you'd see nobody cared and nothing was broadcast about this stuff. And then we have a problem and here comes this movement. It's not like a lot of these movements stick, and keep going. But right now, I feel like we have more people and more awareness of the environment. Of course, it's a hot topic, and more money being raised and things like that. But it's all making sure are we effectively have an answer that we're working towards fixing something. So I'm saying hi. We've got so many people. It's like hi. You know what? It's just one of these things that we can do the best at where we are in what we do, and then if we have a chance to work with a good organization like the one that you said, then we go and we try to help them. There's so many though, David, the butterflies, the monarchs in Mexico, to the sea turtles, to, all this other stuff that we're trying to fix. There's a lot, but at least people are, going towards, having that forefront. And I hope it's not a movement that ends. I hope we can just keep growing and making a change. We need to make a change.
Yeah, look, there's so many issues, and I'm just thinking back about Sea Shepherd and all the amazing work they're doing to save the oceans, and it's they need money. So if anyone wants to donate to a good cause, I recommend Sea Shepherd. But
Annette, where are you? I'm sorry, Annette, where are you? Because we have a wolf sanctuary even in San Diego County, believe it or not, because we don't have wolves here. We have a sanctuary in Alabama. That's great. Wonderful.
It just comes from, I really believe, the spiritual dimension you were talking about before is the key and the missing link, and the respect and honoring of all creatures, all animals, all life forms, to recognize the sacredness of that, the beauty of that, and to honor that. So if you're going fishing, leave enough fish so that those fish can reproduce.
Right.
Take a little bit. Don't take everything, because.
But we have strict laws in the United States, and you get caught because they'll have a ranger or something, you're in trouble. So
yeah, that's really fantastic.
But there's a lot of people that do catch and release, and I don't understand that. Why stress that animal out? You just here you go. We'll catch you again tomorrow. Yeah, I go, what's the point?
That's another topic. I hear there's a lot of hunting in the US, and
there's tons.
I don't really understand that, but it's different world.
You know what? World. I grew up a hunting family. Everything was used. That was food, and so that's different, And but
that's
for
respecting and honoring that life and that sacrifice.
Yeah.
And
because we were like big meat eaters here.
If you ever spend any time in restaurants and you look at the food people waste and what they leave on their plates, and you just think, it's fine, you're eating whatever it is that you ordered, but that animal died for you, and you're just treating it like without respect, without really cherishing that sacrifice and respecting and honoring that animal.
That's true. I think there's a lot of maybe Native Americans or anything that they're thankful. I know believe it or not, I'm Native American, and we're taught to maybe leave an offering, even to cut branches off a plant to thank them. Yeah.
So reverence for nature, and these are really core spiritual concepts of. And the word, the most important word I used before is sacred, sacredness. And when we recognize all life is sacred, then our behavior will come spontaneously. It will just be a recognition, a respect and honor that comes, from our hearts. It doesn't need to have laws that dictate how to behave. We can use our intuition and it's just leave the earth in a better place than you found it. That's the bottom line.
That's a wonderful message. That's a wonderful, and I think that we should leave it better off.
Yeah.
And even I'm Wiccan trained, and one of the things that we do is that we always make sure that we use the things that we have put out as our ritual work or something like that. And if I'm using water, it always goes to feed individual plants. So I'm always feeding the plants water and things. Offerings that Wiccans can do is fertilizer and water, things like that. So we try to take care of the earth.
And that's so wonderful, Debbie. And I also want to mention the intention. Because you're also doing that with intention. It's not just the water; it's the love that you're giving. Yeah. It's the love that you're giving, and that we talked about energy, and that's very powerful when we have that loving intention. And I feel like I know I don't want to keep talking about leadership, but I feel like when we have leaders that really love, that really care, we'll feel that energy and we'll feel touched by them. And that's the kind of world that we have in potential, where it's the loving presence of a human being is very powerful, the loving intention of a human being. So we can affect the earth, and we do affect the earth. It's part of a living system, and our energy affects the earth. And so just sending love and appreciation and gratitude to the earth, to all the natural systems that we have, really revitalizes them, and it's really powerful. And it can cleanse, you mentioned water. It can cleanse the vibration of that water, because water is a vibrational entity. So it's affected by our intentions it's very powerfully affected by the intention. So when you drink water or tea, you can send your intention to that to be healing, to be uplifting.
Well, I do that all the time, but there is a song. I think it's an Algonquin water song, and I sing it. And when I am working with showing people about the plants and this and that and the other, the rocks, the crystals and everything, when we get out to my pool, I make them sing that song, and it is really, blessing the water and thanking the water. And it's just a really neat thing, and I think we should. Be blessed when you take a shower. Thank you, water. Thank you. Especially we need to drink it, right? And it goes into our body. So why not have this great intention of this wonderful water that will really, truly, help you with your health. So, you know what? We're a little bit getting up there on time. Do you want to do some readings, or do we need to talk a little bit more about the environment?
Maybe next week we can talk about the environment.
I think it was great how you kind of end. We all need to do what we can and leave it, and if not the same, but better. I know when people go camping here and stuff, the thing is to leave no footprint. We make sure that we've taken everything, and it just really gets me when people litter. I grew up give a hoot, don't pollute. You do not throw out trash. And I see it every day, and just it gets me.
I feel saddened when I see a pristine lake or pristine river or something which has people's trash, and it's quite jarring when you have a reverence for nature and you see something destructive.
David, like people go up in the mountains and there's nothing anywhere and everything's great, and then they look down and there's a soda can, or there's some piece of trash that they didn't pick up and take with them, and it really is disheartening that you're in the joy of everything being clean and Mother Nature, and you find somebody trash.
It's we've got to be strong, and we've got to keep putting out good energy and good messages, and not get depressed or disheartened by the negative stuff, because it takes a very strong person, I think, to live in this world. Just the fact that you're here, you have to walk through a lot of challenges and pitfalls and disappointments to survive. So we're all stronger than we realize. Just the fact that we've made it this far. It keep bringing that high vibration, the higher intention of love, of peace, of healing, of support, and everything that you desire. All those things, you can bring that to nature in your heart. The things that you cherish. It's probably health. It's probably abundance, love. You can bring that all to nature. Nature will feel that. Nature will respond. Nature is intelligent.
I get really upset if a plant dies.
Me too. Yeah. And the one that I watered it every day, and then it grew. It was just extraordinary. I was in love with that plant. And then my friend came along, and he thought, I'm going to move that inside the house. So he took the plant, broke it, moved it into the house, so it died. And I was just devastated. Well, not devastated. That's an exaggeration. I was really sad.
I was devastated over having to cut our tree down. I'm like, how can we save it? Like, it's going to cost $1 bazillion to save the tree. It's bringing up all the roots. It's bringing up the whole public sidewalk. And I'm like, no, keep the tree.
I feel the same way. I don't
care. Hey, I've taken some cards for Gabby. Gabby, I love your little profile. That's so cute. So I do know Gabby, and Gabby's been writing, and that is great. And you want to know in September. So you must have have your scripts in or something. Let me tell you what I do get for you. First 4 cards are for you, and then I'm going to, whatever they tell me, I'm going to tell you. Ace of Cups comes down, open heart, blessings, and joy. I love that you're in a place where you can say, my heart's open to wonderful things. I'm worthy, and I accept things that come in. You have the job card crossing over you. So you do have the energy of a new project, new stream of money, and all of that. However, it's not in your reading. It's just that energy. This is what we're thinking of. I do get for you the energy of creativity. Very nurturing person too, but very creative and psychic, by the way. I don't know, something happened in the past, but I feel like I didn't see that coming. So no, it's in the past. Okay. Now I get that you're going to have a mentor. If you don't have one now, I feel like somebody's going to come in and help you. Okay. Maybe they're going to teach you how to do something. I do get the card that I need to get for anybody that says, I'm a writer, I'm an actor, I'm an artist. You got the talent card. So you do something, you get a lot of emotional joy and success from doing that. So I love that you're doing this. They show me that you can do this, that you have a talent. As far as September, I have like you have something built up, but we're going in a little bit different direction, but you have really good cards here. I feel success. I feel like getting something that you want. And I absolutely get the wait card. So I do have waiting for results. So when I look at September, I feel like we're still waiting for results. Okay. So what I have. Oh, that's great, Gabby. Everybody, we get the best comments. You guys read our comments.
So I'm just curious because I got a couple of really interesting cards, and these are new cards for me. So some of them I've never seen before. So these are actually really beautiful cards. Which the one is, let me just show that to you. I don't know if you can't see it. Wait a minute, I have to put it in.
That's because you're in space.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. You can't
put
really
it right
see
there with your faces, and maybe it'll.
Yeah, still not.
Quite no. I love your
wait a minute.
Oh, it's a whale. It's a whale.
So that is just this beautiful card. Is it Gabby or how?
Gabby.
Gabby, that whale and orca elders. So this is a very powerful card, and it's about sharing your song. And there's a frequency of sound with whales, but it's also they're in the ocean, they're diving deep, so they're cosmic beings. They say that these souls come from a different dimension, a different planet. They come here to raise the vibration and anchor the frequency of love on this planet, on planet Earth. So they also harmonize it with their songs. So there's something here about you harmonizing the earth with your song, with your voice. And these whales weave around the ocean. They do so much for the frequency. I think we're talking a little bit about the frequency, but it's sometimes subliminal. It's beyond our understanding or beyond how we see the world. It's not, we don't see it physically. It's an energetic presence. It's affecting the Earth's magnetic field and harmonics. And that's waking us up to our soul's song. So this card is saying that you have that within you, surrender to it. It's you're being called to share your soul, your song. Essentially, you're being called to share your song. But the other card I picked for you is a cyclical card. So it's recognizing that you're in cycles. We're all in cycles, and I would say slow down. I feel like you're putting too much energy out there in things. Just kind of rebalance and keep saying to yourself, I'm in a cycle. I'm part of this cycle, and sometimes you need to orient yourself towards balance, and don't push too hard, because then you'll just get really burnt out. It's all very well being in a rat race, but there is a cost to being in a rat race. So people get exhausted, and it's important that you rest when you need to rest, that you restore yourself, rejuvenate yourself, and then you'll be able to bring in this new project, because I feel that your soul is yearning for something new, and that whale and orca energy is very, very powerful. So that's amazing. But maybe you just need to slow down a little bit, replenish yourself, and then the energy will start to manifest, and you'll be able to use the power of attraction to bring new things into your life. But I feel like there is potential around you. Just remember that to link to the cycles, and I think it's a new moon coming up. Debbie, is that right?
I don't have my calendar. The busier I get, the less I can set and even know what's going on. And that really, we're almost finished with book 3. We've been working late nights and drinking lots of coffee. So I don't know. And I'm sorry for that, but I don't have my calendar. I keep it right here and it's not there. Oh, it's down here. Hold on. I'm going to spend the time doing it. Let's see. Let me make sure. Of course, I'm on June. And that's because I was writing something for that. September. Okay. So we had that one. I'm looking. We have a new moon on here in the U.S. on the 25th. I believe I got new moon there. Is that right? I don't know. You know, I use this for when I'm doing our writings because we write in seasons. You guys will just look it up at timeanddate.com. But we have the equinox coming, so on the 22nd. I can't wait for that.
So I think the world and the vibration it can be really intense, and what we and what as spiritual beings, what we approaching in the future is resonating with the energy around us, resonating ourselves, being in balance and being in a flow. So we want to be in that energetic space of flow, which is very effortless, it's very relaxed, it can be spontaneous, it can be very alive, and it can be very focused, but it's also not pushing, not forcing, not trying to lift something, just allowing it to sort of float up. So we can be very active in the flow and even more active, but not forcing things, responding to the energy and keeping centered. Make sure you're responding from a centered place, and your heart will tell you, your intuition will kick in. So that's being connected to the world, being in flow. So and that's also will be responding more with the seasons.
So new moon is the 25th, the day after my birthday.
Wow, my goodness, it's all happening.
It's happening. Another year. I'm going to do Suzanne quickly because I already have some cards out. And Suzanne, when people are always saying, if you're drawn to me, I'm telling you, that's something somebody made up because they want to do certain questions. And they'll say, I'm only drawn to certain people. They could do readings for anybody, but sometimes they want the easy stuff. And so, yeah, I can do anyone. You know, the card that represents you is the Five of Swords, which is almost like I'm really thinking about just kind of releasing some stuff. You know, I want to let go. It doesn't serve me. I want to end something. So I really get this for you. Like, this is what you're all about. You have the thought of love or relationships or something over you. It's very lovely. I do see a big change for you in the future, almost a transformation into a different way of living. So I do feel like that we have a positive change coming. I feel like you felt unsupported and alone in the past, so blow that away. We always need to manifest all that stuff that we need to feel that we are supported and loved and all of that. I do see you going on like a new venture, a new path. Let your intuition guide you, by the way. You might be waiting to make more money or hoping more money or a big pile of money is going to come. Well, I get to wait for that, so manifest for the money as well. I do get two people here, and they're females. I get a very ambitious, business-minded woman, and then I get one that's kind of preoccupied with money. So they are on this path that you have. You do get a message, but I get you working really well with people and getting along with people really well. But this message says to have a positive attitude, to manifest, wish it to be. Put your wishes out there into the universe and let them come in for you. And no matter what, hang in there. Have hope and have courage and stay connected spiritually because they're saying that great things are coming for you. So that's what I have for you.
So Suzanne, I get a certain sort of, we're talking about entanglement and complexity, and we're all entangled to some extent, to some degree. We get entangled by energies, and we respond to energies, and sometimes we react. We get triggered. So always feel into what's triggering me. Why am I getting triggered? What's actually there for you? Because if you're being triggered, there's something there. There's some attachment. There's something from your past. There's some emotion that's being triggered. It's not coming out of a vacuum or coming out of nowhere. So one of you, it feels like there's just been a lot of entanglements with you, I would say, relationships, or a relationship that was particularly confronting. And your challenge is to be earth, to learn how to be human, to acknowledge that you're in the world but not of it. So soften how you're responding emotionally. So play with the world instead of being a victim of the world or being triggered by the world, because it feels like you're actually at your core, you're a very sensitive person. You're a big picture thinker. You have visionary ideas, inspired ideas. So get your mind open, ground into the earth, let yourself be earth, and then the visions will flow. They will become part of your daily action. It feels like you need to take some brave steps, though, to dream the world into being, but also take brave steps to make the world a reality. So that vision is something they tell me that's magnificent, your vision. However, of course, the reality is sometimes a bit more challenging. So you're being called to step up and lead and pursue new ideas and new visions. And it is going to be challenging. You have to kind of push through a bit of mud here. But definitely nurture yourself, and there's something great coming to you that you're going to need to take some big steps and actions. It's not going to just be given all to you. So unfortunately, that's just the nature of this world. We sometimes have to brick by brick build things up.
Thank you. I know that you usually have time constraints. We're at the top of the hour.
I'm actually okay today. I'm sort of cleared my schedule a bit. Things have calmed down.
Okay, I would really like to do another reading. This is is it Jocelyn?
Jocelyn.
I'm so bad with names. I don't know. And you have been all around the world. And how do you do with names? Can you pronounce them all? I mean, I can't do the simple ones.
Well, I've been to a lot of countries, and some of them, it can be pretty challenging when someone says their name and it sounds like they come from a different planet, and you just you don't process what they're saying. It's like, what? Like, get it. You don't get a feel for it because it's not a name that you grew up. It's not something simple. So people will teach you, though, but often they'll just say, well, call me Didi, or call me, they'll shorten it. It's okay, call me Dada. Or so people generally, in most cultures I've come across, they don't expect you to be able to give their full name, and they'll be, all right, just give. They'll have a shortcut. So in Thailand, the names are impossible. But everyone has a nickname, which is really cute. And it's usually something very short, like Tick, or what's another one? Yeah, very short name, like, Tick, Tok, very, very...
Do you have a nickname?
Simple. Do I have a nickname? No. But I'm not from Thailand.
No. Everybody has nicknames.
Yeah, so I really like that. Because they have the most extraordinary names that last. It's like, 30 letters or something, and you just look at it and you're like, what? Like, how would I even begin to say something like that? But then they make it really easy for you, and the nickname is something very, very simple usually. Like, yeah. So they all have their nicknames, and so, yeah, just culturally speaking, people do often help you. They'll, if you look perplexed and you're like, what? Just say, well, what do I call you, or what can I call you? And just, if you're doing your best, you're doing your best. But I tend to write names down, and that helps me to remember them.
Oh, that's good. I need the world to be wearing name tags.
Yeah, I've got a few of those. Good idea.
David.
Instead of wearing a label, it would be cool to wear a name on our clothing.
I have my company name on a lot of my clothing, but that's about it. And people, when they meet me, it's funny because my name is Deborah, and I never knew that. I was years old when somebody said Deborah. I'm like, who are you talking to? Because it was always Debbie. But now in my life, people will just, hi, I'm Debbie, and then they'll be Deb, Deborah. I get it, everything. I respond. Jocelyn, I said your name right. Thank goodness.
Well, it's interesting. Some people get offended, and some people get a bit triggered or a bit angry if you don't get their name right, or if you call him. If you call him Deb, and they want to be called Zebra, it's really interesting sometimes.
It's like and weird stuff. Like weird stuff, you guys know I've been married 3 times, you know that. And so the second husband just decided one day that my name was Kick. I'm like, where are you from? I will not respond to that. Jocelyn, let me tell you, I'm sorry, David, go ahead.
Oh, I was just thinking of a couple of people I know, and the one, her name is Clarissa, which I only found out recently, which I think is a very cool name, Clarissa.
I like it.
I find it quite intriguing, but
it's like a little crystal fairy.
I really like it, but she introduced herself as Missy, and I always thought her name was Missy, and then she said, one day I found out it was Clarissa, and I was kind of like shocked. I'm like, what? Your name is Clarissa? Why? What a beautiful name. Why you don't call yourself that? And she said, oh, well, people find it a bit hard, or so Missy is easier or whatever. And then someone else I worked with, her name is Maria. But I only found that out, if ever you call her Maria, she'll get really angry, really upset. So she goes as Mia. So anyway.
Oh, that's cute. I like that one.
Yeah.
Well, the co-author I write with, I know her as Kara, and her real name is Carolyn. And everybody back in the day growing up, a horde of people call her Sue. And I'm like, and so when we get together, we're all calling her a different name. Okay, I want to start with Jocelyn here. Jocelyn, the card that represents you is a card of like having something built up and really kind of maybe you're going to come to the decision that, I have to leave. It's okay to leave that. My future is in a different direction. And it's like coming to that decision. The best thing for you is to move on to something else. You do have this money card, but it's waiting for money. So I feel like you have a wait. So please manifest for the money to come in, because I feel like we've got to wait for whatever pile of money you think is coming. I do get super stuck for you coming up, and I don't want to see anybody with that. We need to work on making sure that you always have goals and you're walking the path towards the goals. Keeps you in motion, because this is a card of like, oh, I can't do anything about that. Oh, my hands are tied to that. No, we can't be that way. We always have options, because if we can't physically and mentally go after something, we can metaphysically do it. So learn to manifest. If you want my book, PM me or just psychicfixes@gmail, and I will send it to you. But I do feel like super stuck coming up. We don't want that. Past position, I don't know if there was a little party or a celebration, but I feel really good about the energy. Now they're showing me you taking on some extra responsibility. You can. I don't see anything around it says that it's not anything you can't handle. I do get a money-minded male here. I feel like he can give really good about advice about money and all of that. But yet I feel like you go, I should be making more money, or I should have more money, or something like that. I've been left out of the money. So make sure that you are manifesting the cash in. It shows me a little bit of confusion and struggle as well. So we need to start going, everything goes smoothly and easily. Let's go on this path that's a little bit easier. Now, talk about two really good cards. I get that you're going to get your desires and reach your goals. We're going to tick them off, get your check off marker, because I feel like that you're going to work towards everything that you want that's an improvement in your career and in your home. Maybe you're going to go see the world, but I get this great card of, really going after what you want. And it's really, really good. But I do see ultimately a change in your home, either a new home or an improvement in the house. So we do have a positive change coming for you in your home. And that's what I have for you.
So Jocelyn, it does feel like you are progressing. So progress is the optimal state, or at least that's what we want to be. As long as we're making progress, it just feels like you there's obstacles and there's kind of like there's a bit of mud. I always see it as mud, and but don't get caught up in the mud, or don't overthink it, or don't let it weigh you down too much. Just like Debbie was saying, your mental perspective, how you thinking about the world is really important during this time. So whatever's happening, just stay true to yourself, clear your energy, bring in the portal of your heart, bring in the activations, the messages, the positive messages. So just going with the flow more. There, you do need a change though. So the change is coming for you, and the concept that I want to bring across is internal housekeeping. So that's really important that you prioritize. There's certain things that just require step-by-step actions that are methodical and goal-oriented, and there's a little bit too much chaos around you. Well, it's just that there are obstacles, and you're getting in your own way too much. So you're getting in your own way, but overall it's positive. You are going to get through this. There is a new relationship coming in. It's kind of like once you get out of your own way, then there's going to be a lot of fruits of that coming through. There's going to be a lot of new things coming. But the 3 months, I do see a lot of obstacles and mud. But you are going to get through this, and just keep doing the manifestations, the clearing your energy, and taking care of yourself.
That's wonderful. That's great. So Jocelyn, the reading was for September, October, and December that I gave you. It's time to go. I need to go. Busy times. And you're welcome. She's saying thank you. You guys, if you ever want to donate, please donate to David. And in the description, as well as scrolling across the screen, is a way to send him just one of those little love blessings. So.
And I want to thank everyone.
And yet you said, "Oh no."
I want to thank everyone because sometimes I'm able to pass on those donations to someone in need. So I was passing that on this week. So I just want to thank everyone for that.
Yeah, thank you, David, and your viewpoints and wanting to get out to everybody how we can be a little bit more, calm and get through life a little bit easier is just a blessing. Thank you so much. So we'll try maybe to be here next week.
Yeah. I'm just reading the comments. Sorry, Terry. There's
so many comments.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Wow. This is amazing. Wow. Thank you for your comments.
I was asking if you were here. I wanted to give you a reading. You guys, we'll get more time for readings next time. So beyond, I just love your readings and I love your oracle cards. I've got to start doing those oracle cards. They're so cool. But I'm good with my tarot, so I kind of stick to that a lot. So, David, you're going to stay on and we'll say goodbye to everybody, or do you want to read? You can read. It's fine.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you, everyone. It's been wonderful being here. And stay true to yourselves and don't get too caught up in the world around you. Remember, you have your own inner world, and that's beautiful and powerful and special and unique and wonderful. So remember that.
I love that. Very uplifting. All right. So, and that pond where you are meditating, I'm going to be behind you splashing the water. So we're very opposite in a lot of things, but good that we can, respect and honor that. So, all right, you guys, take care. And thank you all. Thank you so much for watching, because you know what? We're building up because, I'd love to see David come on and do blockbuster shows, whenever he wants. So I'm hoping for that, because it's so needed that we have a very loving spirit, that gives such good sage advice. So anyway,
it's the highlight of my week, so I'm happy to come on anytime.
That's great. Okay, you guys, we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.